Numbers don't lie. They tell you exactly how you're performing. And the truth is, even though Caitlin Clark is elevating the rest of the WNBA, the league is still 100% reliant on her.
Caitlin Clark is rewriting the WNBA's history books, bringing in millions and legions of new fans. Yet behind the scenes, a silent battle is raging. Why does it seem the league and even fellow players are fighting against the very force that could save them? The shocking truth about this generational superstar's struggle for full acceptance is costing the WNBA dearly.
How much more proof do you need? I know the WNBA is a league of equity. I know they claim to be about diversity, but here's the thing about numbers. They don't give a shit about equity.
How much more proof could anyone possibly need? The WNBA prides itself on equity, on diversity, on a shared spotlight. But here's the cold, hard truth about numbers. They couldn't give a DMN about narratives of equity or shared success. They only care about impact, and Clark's impact is seismic. Consider the wildly fluctuating ticket prices. A WNBA game can see its value swing by hundreds of dollars depending on one factor: Caitlin Clark's presence. Take a recent game in Chicago. Tickets were fetching upwards of $76 when she was expected to play.
Tickets to the Fever Sky this Saturday are down to $8 with Caitlin Clark out.
The moment news broke about her quad injury, those prices nosedived, plummeting to as low as $8. That isn't just a dip, it's a total recalibration of value, dictated by a single player's availability. We're talking about a difference of $68 per ticket, just because one name was removed from the lineup. This isn't just an anomaly, it's what many are now calling the Caitlin Clark effect. It's fundamentally altering how fans interact with the WNBA, and in many ways, how the league perceives itself. Her influence doesn't stop at the gate.
This is going to be history. It's like what I told her. That's pretty epic that we get to watch her, because not a lot of games here in Dallas with somebody that big of a star.
Fans aren't just buying seats, they're investing in her persona, her unmatched skill, and the electrifying energy she brings to every single possession. WNBA merchandise sales, they've been absolutely on fire since Clark entered the conversation. Her arrival signaled a historical moment, a shift. Imagine telling someone that a single player could transform a league's entire merchandise operation. Yet, here we are. A wave of excitement has translated into jerseys flying off the shelves, with the league witnessing record-breaking spikes in demand for team-related merch, all tied directly to the Iowa Phenom. Just look at the Indiana Fever's branding.
Seats for the rematch in Chicago later this year are being listed for $165. Right here. Tickets as low as $8. Tickets as low as $165.
They've experienced an astonishing 1,193% surge in jersey sales. Even their team mascot, Freddie Fever, is riding this wave with a 150% jump in appearance requests. All of this because Caitlin Clark's name is in the mix. She isn't just lifting attendance figures, she's lifting the league's entire commercial profile. The return game in Chicago later this year, tickets are already listed for $165. The difference is stark. An $8 ticket versus a $165 ticket, all for the same teams, same venue, same sport. This is the difference one player makes.
As if women's basketball fans needed any more proof of Caitlin Clark's effect, this tale of two tickets is even further proof. I mean, I don't know what else anybody could say.
And then there are the TV ratings. Games featuring Clark consistently outshine every other matchup, often by staggering margins. Even before she stepped onto a WNBA court, her college games captivated audiences, drawing numbers that rivaled professional sports. That buzz has carried over, with more fans than ever tuning in, often just on the chance she might appear. It's undeniably clear. Clark commands attention like no one else in the league right now. Media outlets can't get enough. As if fans needed any more proof of her singular effect, this tale of two tickets and the unprecedented viewership numbers confirm it. What more could anyone possibly say? Social media explodes every time her name is mentioned. Her highlights go viral instantly. This frenzy isn't just about her impossible three-pointers from half court, it's the raw energy, the relentless drive, and the undeniable star power she injects into the game. It's almost as if she's single-handedly redefining what it means to watch women's basketball.
Indiana and Chicago are playing each other June 7th, which means that Clark will still be on the mend from injury and thus unable to compete. This has prompted ticket prices for that game to drop nearly 71%, which is proof just how much Clark means for the league's bottom line.
But here's where it gets interesting, or perhaps confusing depending on your perspective. The WNBA itself seems strangely slow to fully embrace her as the game changer she so clearly is. When a generational talent like this emerges in most leagues, it's all systems go. Think about LeBron James. When he entered the NBA, the league didn't hesitate. They plastered his image across billboards, primetime shows, and national commercials before he even played his first professional game. The same applied to stars like Zion Williamson or Patrick Mahomes in the NFL. They were promoted as the future, the next era defining athletes. In stark contrast, the WNBA feels hesitant. It's almost as if Clark still has something to prove before she earns the full superstar treatment, despite having proven everything already. The frustration is palpable among fans, who are furious that some still refuse to acknowledge the undeniable numbers. They barely care if Clark scores 40 points, takes 10 shots, or just sits on the bench. In one instance, scalpers were charging premium prices just on the chance she might make a courtside appearance. Fans weren't even guaranteed to see her play, they just wanted to be near the energy she creates. That level of hype is exceptionally rare, and the league appears not to grasp how fleeting it can be if they fail to capitalize on it immediately.
There are going to be fans of you-know-who that are going to be punching air. They're furious over this kind of stuff, and frankly, somehow in their mind, this doesn't mean anything. When it literally proves points. It proves everything.
So why, despite everything she's doing for the league, do some players seem more threatened by her success than inspired by it? Take Angel Reese, one of the WNBA's biggest names. Why would she throw shade at Caitlin Clark, the player drawing more attention to their league than any marketing campaign ever could? It's a rivalry that has spilled far beyond the basketball court, and what's fueling it might not be as simple as friendly competition. Reese's public comments and gestures have stirred the pot, with many fans interpreting her actions as being more about ego than teamwork. Her own words echo this: "I'll take the bad guy role. The reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too. And I want y'all to realize that." Some argue Reese is simply protective of a level playing field, while others contend there's a deeper resentment behind how quickly Clark has become the face of the women's game. Remember Reese's infamous hand wave during March Madness last year? It exploded across social media. Critics slammed it as too much cocky, while others saw it as a defiant pushback against Clark's growing dominance.
It's no secret that the Indiana Fever star guard, Caitlin Clark, missing 2 weeks because of a left quad strain is bad news, not only for the Fever, but for the entire WNBA, given how much interest and attention Clark demands when she's on the court.
The real context here isn't just a college game, it's the intense tension that arises from sharing a stage with someone whose rise feels unstoppable. It's clear Reese thrives on controversy, calling attention to herself in a way that generates buzz, but also friction. Some players frame their frustrations around earning it. The arguments have been heard. Clark's hype doesn't sit right with those who've built their success as team-first athletes, working for years to make a name for themselves in a league historically overlooked. But let's be brutally honest, at least some of this seems less teamwork driven and more personal. How often does this narrative appear in men's leagues? LeBron James didn't get side-eyed for being the reason Cleveland appeared on primetime TV. When Caitlin Clark is back on the court, tickets are $157 or higher.
But Caitlin Clark appears to be hunted every game. She deals with physicality that no other player in the league is dealing with.
The WNBA, however, harbors a strange sense that Clark is breaking some unspoken rule of knowing your place, even as she drags the spotlight their way. Social media only adds fuel to this rivalry. Public perception has turned incidents like Reese's gestures and post-game comments into cultural flashpoints. Fans debate everything from sportsmanship to what constitutes fair competitive trash talk, but one undeniable truth lies underneath it all. Clark's name dominates the conversation, as if further proof were needed. After LSU couldn't even sell half their arena out for Reese's return, we saw Clark fill 15,000 seats at Iowa and sell out venues. Tweets roll in by the thousands every time Reese brings up Clark's name, whether she's praising her or throwing shade. Even when Reese is criticized, she plays her part in a rivalry that makes casual fans tune in.
That is a hell of a difference. $8 tickets for a Fever versus Chicago Sky game in Chicago. You want to tell me now again that there's an Angel Reese effect? Because there is no Angel Reese effect at all.
Clark might be the headline even when she's inactive, but Reese keeps the story alive. Events like this are a double-edged sword for the WNBA. On one hand, they create the kind of storylines that sports fans crave: heroes, villains, a bit of drama. But on the other, they might distract from the league's bigger picture. There's a $157 difference in ticket cost over just 20 days. Instead of celebrating Clark's presence as a moment that lifts women's basketball, some seem more interested in dragging her down. The clicks and views are great, sure, but is this the attention the league should be building around as it tries to grow its audience? The rivalry exposes something larger. Clark isn't just elevating her profile, she's inadvertently elevating everyone else's. Ticket sales, merchandise numbers, viewership, all these indicators rise when she's part of the conversation, even if that conversation leans towards controversy.
Just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Reese's actions, ironically, draw more attention to Clark, and by extension to the league as a whole. But rather than capitalize on that, the focus remains on interpersonal squabbles. This brings us to the real question: why isn't the WNBA stepping in to steer this into something more productive? Rivalries are fantastic for sports, they always have been, but unchecked drama risks overshadowing the games themselves. Isn't it the prevailing narrative that the credit should be shared, that Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson are just as responsible for attracting viewers? While they deserve credit for their talent, the media prefers to share the credit, and the league allows it. The league stands at a crossroads. It can manage this narrative and highlight Clark as a unifying figure, or it can let pettiness undermine what is now a rare moment of unprecedented momentum. Clark and Reese shouldn't be two sides of the same coin. They should be cornerstones of a league rising together. Isn't that the message the WNBA should be promoting? So why has the league stayed so hands-off?
It's a big nationally televised game, and no Caitlin Clark for this game. To my knowledge, Angel Reese is playing in this game. Judging by the ticket prices, nobody's going to see her. There's no demand.
And then there's the perception that Caitlin Clark is being hunted every game. She deals with a level of physicality that many argue no other player in the league faces. It's not every day that one player can simultaneously boost ticket sales, merchandise, TV ratings, and brand visibility to this degree. Yet, here we are with the WNBA still acting like there's more to prove. Isn't it abundantly clear by now what she brings? It's no secret that the Indiana Fever's star guard, Caitlin Clark, missing 2 weeks due to a left quad strain is bad news, not just for the Fever, but for the entire WNBA. Given how much interest and attention Clark demands when she's on the court, her absence is a gaping hole. Caitlin Clark isn't merely a player, she's a moment, a movement, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to propel the WNBA to unprecedented heights.
Saturday. And guys, ticket prices for this game, ooh-wee. I thought they were coming for her too, right? Question mark? Yeah, that's what Angel Reese told us. as she decided that she wanted to play the villain role.
Yet by treating her meteoric rise with cautious humility instead of full-blown aggressive promotion, the league risks fumbling a chance that may never come again. Whether Caitlin Clark's recent injury was caused by other WNBA players, or whether this quad strain is 100% basketball related, it frankly doesn't matter for the larger narrative. Now, if the speculation is true, jealous and resentful WNBA players are on their own. They have to rely on themselves to draw an audience. If Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's golden ticket, why does it consistently feel like the league is treating her like just another player? It's profoundly strange. Most leagues bend over backward when a generational talent emerges.
What are we talking about? And then a game in the same place, potentially with Caitlin Clark being back on the court. Tickets are $157 higher. $8 to $165.
They don't just celebrate them, they build entire marketing campaigns around their potential. But with the WNBA, the reception feels lukewarm, almost hesitant. As is often the case, the numbers tell a different story. The media can claim all they want that people are watching the WNBA to see Angel Wilson, or to see Angel Reese play pretend basketball. They can try to spread the credit, but Clark's influence is already undeniable. From surges in ticket prices to viral moments, she's put the league into conversations it has literally never been in before. And yet, instead of meeting that energy, the WNBA seems stuck in neutral, almost as if they don't quite know how to fully embrace the gift they've been given. They better hope her quad is healing, because her reevaluation on June 9th could be a defining moment.
As if we needed more proof after the fact that LSU could not even sell half of their arena out for the return of Reese. And then a couple of days later, or whenever it was, we watched Caitlin Clark fill up 15,000 fans at Iowa and sell out.
Think about how other leagues have handled stars like Zion Williamson in the NBA or Patrick Mahomes in the NFL. Before Zion ever played an NBA game, his image was plastered everywhere. The NFL followed a similar path with Mahomes, running promotional content around him once it was clear he was a rising star. They weren't just promoting a player, they were crafting a narrative around him being the future of the game. The message was unambiguous. This person isn't just here to play, they're here to define the next era. The pattern is clear, no one cares about Angel Reese, and they certainly don't care about watching Angel Wilson, even if Angel Wilson actually knows how to play basketball. That doesn't mean people are interested in watching her though. Now look at Clark. Her ticket sales are out of this world. Her jerseys are selling faster than anyone else's.
There's 20 days that separates that. In case you're wondering what that works out to, that is a $157 difference in cost of ticket over 20 days.
And her games, even college ones, are outperforming some established WNBA matchups in TV ratings. And yet you don't see her face leading widespread campaigns for the WNBA. Instead, the league acts like her contribution is part of a collective effort, patting itself on the back for increased engagement while systematically downplaying the clear, singular driving force behind it. The thing about leg injuries, they can appear minor. You can seem fine, and the next thing you know, a strain becomes a tear. A minor injury can quickly become a debilitating long-term setback. A long-term injury to Caitlin Clark is something the WNBA cannot afford. Not now, not ever. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert makes speeches about strategic initiatives, but fans aren't buying season tickets or Freddie Fever bobbleheads because of PowerPoint slides. They're buying in because of Caitlin Clark. The merchandising numbers alone scream the story. After Clark announced she was entering the draft, jersey sales for the Indiana Fever shot up a staggering 1,093%. That's not a bump, that's a phenomenon.
Therefore, there's currently an 83% drop between the two games, which presumably is owed to the expectation that Caitlin Clark will be back in action July 27th.
Unlike some, Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, understands the importance of protecting his stars. You won't abuse Steph Curry. You won't manhandle Michael Jordan. Why? Because David Stern and Adam Silver understood you were paying to watch them play. In the days following her draft announcement, the Fever's phones rang off the hook, with over 6,000 calls for season tickets pouring in. Even Freddie Fever, the team's mascot, saw bookings jump by 150%. 100%. And yet, where's the full court press from the league? Why isn't Clark the absolute centerpiece of a campaign that acknowledges her transformative presence? It's not just a missed opportunity, it's a gamble, one the league doesn't seem to grasp its making. This league is so bad, they can't even pretend to play well. This is a league that has struggled to sell tickets and maintain interest, especially in the last 2 weeks, while their only true attraction has been sidelined with injury.
Isn't that the prevailing narrative throughout the media? They want to share the credit. They claim Angel Reese and AJ Wilson are the reason that people are watching pretend basketball. Now, sure, they give some credit to Caitlin Clark, but the media prefers to share the credit.
Here's the massive risk. When you treat someone like Clark as though she still has something to prove instead of embracing what she's already done for the game, you begin to chip away at her incentive to stick around. Fans may lose interest if they don't feel the league values its brightest star. The narrative has already formed. It's Caitlin Clark against the rest of the league, the phenom against envious players. That's undeniably one reason people are watching. But if Caitlin Clark is gone, if she leaves, if she decides this isn't the environment for her, there's no reason to watch anymore. Clark herself might feel undervalued, disengaged, even if the organization she's lifting on her shoulders keeps waiting for her to check imaginary boxes.
Whether the injury was caused by other WNBA players or whether this quad strain is 100% basketball related, it really doesn't matter. Because now, jealous and resentful WNBA players, they're on their own. Now they have to rely on themselves to draw an audience.
Momentum isn't infinite, and it fades quickly if you don't harness it. Caitlin Clark isn't just the future of the WNBA. She's the reason the WNBA even has a future right now. This isn't about building her brand for her. She's already done that. Make no mistake, this is a disaster of epic proportions waiting to happen. Ratings could be down significantly. Attendance could plummet. This is about the league stepping up and finally recognizing that they're in the middle of a once-in-a-lifetime moment, one that if they're not careful could pass them by forever. The critical question now is, can they course correct before it's genuinely too late? Because if they don't, Clark might not just be their best chance at growing the league, she might be their very last.
As is often the case, the numbers tell a different story. The media can claim all they want. People are watching the WNBA to see AJ Wilson. They can claim that people are watching pretend basketball to see Angel Reese airball wide open shots.
So where does the WNBA go from here? With the current collective bargaining agreement expiring and negotiations for increased minimum wage salaries beginning, this injury to Caitlin Clark could not have happened at a worse time for the players who ironically seem to despise her.
I believe she gets reevaluated for her injury on June 9th, which I think is next Monday. They better hope her quad is healing.
Caitlin Clark isn't just redefining women's basketball, she's redefining the WNBA itself. Her influence is measurable in every possible way, from sudden ticket spikes to merchandise flying off shelves faster than ever before. And yet the league still hesitates, treating this monumental moment as if it's ordinary. It is far from ordinary. Fans will undoubtedly stick around if she's out for a couple of weeks. People are patient if there's hope that Caitlin Clark is coming back.
Like I tell you guys all the time, no one cares about Angel Reese. They damn sure don't care about watching AJ Wilson. But Angel Wilson actually knows how to play basketball. However, that does not mean people are interested in watching.
But heaven forbid Caitlin Clark returns and this quad strain becomes a torn quad, leading to 4 to 6 months out, or even the entire season. I'm not just talking about Caitlin Clark's season ending. The WNBA season itself would effectively be over. Clark is elevating the WNBA to heights it's been chasing for years. But here's the harsh reality. If the league doesn't fully embrace her now, with conviction and aggressive promotion, it risks losing all the incredible momentum she's single-handedly created. That's not a chance they can afford to take. The Caitlin Clark effect is undeniably real, and the question isn't whether it will continue to reshape the landscape. It's whether the WNBA truly commits to riding that wave or allows it to crash, taking their golden opportunity with it.